The Milwaukee Mile. Since 1903, this Grand Dame has beckoned and challenged the best drivers in the sport. Among them, the legendary Barney Oldfield, driving his peerless Green Dragon in 1905. He set a dazzling lap record, 64.29 miles per hour. The Milwaukee Mile. From 1947 to 1980, this track hosted more national championship events in champ cars, midgets, and stock cars than any other track in North America. The Milwaukee Mile. Here, virtually every great oval track racer has shown their skill, their courage, their determination. Rex Mays, Parnelli Jones, Tony Bettenhausen, and the Unsers. They all came and all added to the lore. The Milwaukee Mile. Is it any wonder that in motorsports, the T in tradition stands for the Milwaukee Mile? Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. The sights, the sounds, the exhilaration of a 185-mile-an-hour festival of speed. And welcome everyone to the Milwaukee Mile, a beautiful day for racing here in the month of June. The fourth race of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Today, live coverage of the Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225. This is the only oval track round in this year's schedule. Now, as we mentioned, since 1903, this facility has been in continuous operation, the oldest such oval course in the world. Champ Car back this year to add to that heritage. They began that performance, of course, with qualifying here on Saturday. The Bridgestone Pole Award again this week to Sebastian Bourdais, by far his best qualifying effort on this particular oval. His third Bridgestone Pole Award in 4 tries this season. He's been all but perfect so far here in 2006. Bourdais collects another $5,000 check by winning the Bridgestone Pole Award here at the Milwaukee Mile.
To give you an idea, though, how difficult it is to win here, Bourdais, as good as he is, has never led a single lap here.
Junqueira will line up alongside his teammate, the reigning series champion, the Newman Haas cars on the front row. Second row, the Rousport 10 of A.J. Allmendinger, the CDW number 9 of Justin Wilson. He will line up in the 4th position today for Rousport. Row 3, Will Power qualifies 5th quick in the Aussie Vineyards car. The Index Forsyth 7 of Mario Dominguez will line up in the 6th position. Back to the 4th row, Oriol Servia for the Gulfstream PKV car. That's car number 6, and the Bell Micro 20. His teammate Catherine Legg will line up 8th today, also for PKV. In row number 5 here at Milwaukee, Nelson Philippe in the CTE HVM Burden of Bear car number 4, and Paul Tracy has to come from 10th today in the Index Forsyth car number 3. 6th row, Speedy Dan Clark in the CTE HVM 14, the Young Andrew Ranger 4th in the championship, and the MyJack Conquest Tide car number 27. In the 7th row, Charles Wolzman, the MyJack Conquest 34, and Jan Halen, the Dale Coyne Sonny's Barbecue, car number 11. In the 8th row today, as we get set to go 225 miles in Milwaukee, Nicky Pastorelli, his first ever oval start for Rocket Sports, the Bavaria, car number 8, and Cristiano D'Amata, who wrecked and did not get a qualifying time in the Sonny's Barbecue number 19, the 2002 Champ Car champion. Alex Tagliani will not start today. He will take a DNS from the 17th position. Our onboards today, we will ride with Oriol Servia in car number 6. He will start back in 7th spot, but he's a very accomplished oval racer.
Oriol Servia last year proved very beneficial to Sebastian Bourdais when he came in with the type of input from setups that he could bring to the team. Bourdais credits his speed this year with the help from Servia last season.
Also on board views today from the CDW9, the Rousport Rocket, Justin Wilson, 2 wins last year, searching for his first win of this season. He lines up outside row number 2. Wrecked here a couple of years ago, Derek, before he joined Rousport. He's got a point to prove, I think, today. We'll have a camera, of course, with Charles Wolzman and the MyJack Conquest Speed Racer, car number 34.
But we have great storylines here. Jan Beekes?
One of those is Paul Tracy. We know how fast he is in qualifying. His weight jacker was somehow set up in reverse. When the car started to push, he went to the steering wheel to adjust the handling. It went the wrong way. More and more push, the car wouldn't even turn. So Paul Tracy is not out of this. They found the problem. He can adjust the car now from the cockpit. Let's get back to the booth.
Ready to go green.
Yellow start. Yellow, 7.
And the call from race control. Not a start this time by the field lined up incorrectly.
And that was Kenny Seawick, the eyes and ears for Sebastian Bourdais. Kenny Seawick is on the radio all the time with him, Bill.
And just to add to Jan's point, in the post-qualifying press conference yesterday, guys, Paul Tracy said right out he is going to attempt to make up as many positions as he can when he comes to the green flag.
Teams getting things set on pit road. 3 pit stops today will be required to go the 225 miles.
That is correct. Get ready. I'll call the flag to you.
Watch Tracy, second of the blue cars. We expect a lot from him.
Bourdais on the brake. Big lead into turn 1. Allmendinger for second. Tracy sixth already down the backstretch. Oh, trouble indeed. One of the cars into the wall. I believe that's one of the PKB cars, one of the Forsyth cars. Both of them are collected in turn 4. Caution already as we are just underway. 2 laps are complete, and we go yellow immediately. A big wreck down in the corner.
Dominguez is okay. I don't believe he hit anything, but Tracy backed it in very hard. There he is right there. He is done.
Cold tires, Derek. I'm sure even though it's a very warm day, track temperature around 80.
Dominguez touches.
Serbia, I believe.
I believe that is Serbia.
One more look.
Dominguez makes contact on the first lap. Remember what happened at Long Beach? Did the same thing. Unfortunately, you saw what Tracy did. Tracy put his foot down, tried to accelerate the car as he was going backwards, trying to stop making contact. There's Tracy. Watch this. Bottom of your screen, out of your screen. Oh, there's...
And it's Bruno Junqueira in car number 2. It is Bruno Junqueira who got touched and turned into the wall, Derek, from the outside pole.
Another one of those red and white cars. Bruno, remember, has that 2 rods, 11 inches long, and I believe it's 18 screws holding us back together as a result of his crash in Indianapolis just over a year ago. He backed into the wall in practice, and now he's hit really hard again.
Second wreck of the weekend. Meantime, Paul Tracy, the winner here in a dominant run a year ago, still looking for his first win in 2006. His afternoon done after just 2.5 laps. You know he's frustrated. Started on the outside of the 5th row. Everyone thought he would go right to the front quickly. He was already up to 6th before he got caught up in that mess in turn 3. There's the contact. Bruno got turned, backed into the safer barriers. We're under caution at Milwaukee. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. Our coverage today being brought to you by Ford, Bold Moves. And by Bridgestone, passion for excellence. Back at the Milwaukee Mile, working on the 7 car, Jan Beekes.
Yes, he's been here already 40 seconds. You can see they're working on the front steering. He believes that there was some damage in that contact that we certainly saw in turn number 3. So they're going to spend some extended time and try and find what's wrong. In the meantime, let's get to Bill.
With a very unhappy Paul Tracy, and the comparisons to Long Beach unavoidable, Paul.
I mean, it's a shame. I mean, we're trying to pass our teammate, and he just drove it right into the side of Mario, or into the side of Bruno to keep me behind him. You know, I was going to make a move on the outside of him, and he went for the inside and just drove it in way too hard and drove right into the side of Bruno, and you know, basically crashed 3 cars out for no reason. So it's frustrating.
You got to be pretty exasperated by all this.
I mean, it just hurts our championship. You know, we had a good car today. We rebounded from our mistake yesterday. We had a good car, and we come out of here with nothing. So it's frustrating.
Now, let me ask you one more time about Long Beach and the comparisons. Can you draw any comparisons about what happened here and what happened there?
I mean, it's 2 different situations, but you know, ultimately the end result is the same. You know, he drove into the corner and ran into the side of Bruno, and you know, took him out, took me out. And, you know, he's still running, so it's definitely frustrating.
Tough break.
Well, Paul Tracy's championship hopes take another big hit here today with that second wreck, Derek, in 4 races without barely getting a lap in.
And Paul Tracy is trying to be as politically correct as he can, which is most unlike Tracy, but you can hear the frustration in his voice. So much was expected of Tracy. He has won 4 times here in the past. He loves this oval. He is Mr. Excitement, particularly on these early laps, and he gets taken out again, and he literally got taken out. Interesting that, and you saw on the replay, as Dominguez began the lazy spin, hit the rear wheel, collected Paul Tracy and put him off the road.
Now Justin Wilson in the CCWS car running third now under caution behind his teammate A.J. Allmendinger. Allmendinger bolted to second off the drop of the green. Earlier this weekend, Jan Bikus took a trip to the CDW pit area to find out a little about some new technology that the Rousport team is developing.
One of the reasons that CDW got involved with Rousport and the Champ Car World Series is a lot of the technology they sell to businesses is very similar to what you see here on pit road. One of the new innovations that Champ Car is using is instant messaging from the teams up to race control. So Steve Wolf from Rousport can type a message here. We have, in this particular instance, we think that they were passed under yellow. He can now send that message up to race control. Instead of trying to find an official up and down pit road and try and get radio communications, it can be sent, comes back on this screen, and hopefully immediately we'll get a response from race control as to what the situation may be. It has now been sent. A response is coming from race control, and as quickly as that, as an instant messaging may be, they also agree that there has been an infraction during the race. They say move those cars back around. The nice thing about this, it also keeps a log of all the conversations from race control and the teams themselves. Therefore, there's no questions after the race.
Now Justin Wilson and his team applying that technology courtesy of their sponsors at CDW. 9 laps are on the board under caution after that incident going into turn number 3. Now let's have another look at what happened here.
On board with Justin Wilson. He had a full view.
Oriol Servia had a look at it there as well as we go back to the CDW car. Wilson will restart from third spot.
Now remember, this is into turn 3, so cold tires. Dominguez in the blue car in front. What's the right front? Just clips Bruno's left rear. Bruno is now gone. Tracy sees it unfold. Tracy moves to the outside, hoping to miss everything, and then Dominguez right rear just clips Paul Tracy's left rear right there. Bruno is having a smash bash time up on top. Tracy doesn't get away with it. 3 cars at the moment taken out. Jan Bikus.
And as you were saying that, Mario Dominguez has just climbed from the car. We'll get a word with Michael Cannon over your right shoulder here, Rick. Michael, what was not repairable?
I mean, we just didn't really want to risk the car, and really I'll have to defer to Neil Nickelwright to let you know exactly what's going on. But there's just some concerns over the health of the car, and he'd prefer just to play conservative, which is a shame. I mean, we're third in the championship. I mean, obviously we're a long way down, but we feel like we could have picked up some points.
Thank you, Mike.
Certainly.
Meantime, race officials have shown J.D. Wilbur just showed the black flag to Cristiano D'Amata. Now he's in a backup car for the Dale Coyne team after a wreck yesterday. Bill Stevens.
Down with race engineer John Tassonicus for a very disappointed Bruno Junqueira. What do you know about what happened, John?
Well, we've just seen a replay. I mean, we're just going to have to look at it from a different angle and talk to Bruno and see what Bruno's view is of the situation. But, you know, yesterday the drivers meeting, Tony Kottman told all the drivers, you know, patience. First race, or first lap of a race, looks like some guys didn't have any patience. So, unfortunately, another DNF for Bruno.
And a flashback to Long Beach, perhaps.
Yes, very much so.
Now the Hole in the Wall Camps 2 car was taken out with the diaper underneath. Cristiano D'Amata black flag. Now, Derek, Paul Newman and Carl Haas watching things from the timing stand. Was that an incident of cold tires just forcing Dominguez to slip up the racetrack there in 3?
Well, we know it was cold tires. It was definitely an aggressive move by Dominguez, pushing it a little bit too hard. We have to presume Paul Tracy had the perfect position to watch it all unfold. However, we said at the top of this show, this is a fast and dangerous racetrack, as oval tracks usually are, and the destruction has continued here that we saw start on Friday. So this has definitely been hang on to your hollyhocks weekend here, and we are only 11 laps into this thing.
Well, Cristiano D'Amata back on the racetrack. This is a backup car for Dale Coyne Racing, the Sonny's Barbecue team. We showed you earlier how D'Amata had gotten into the wall in turn 4 yesterday, was unable to take a qualifying time. They built a new car yesterday afternoon and last night to get D'Amata into the field here today. Jan Bikus.
With Mario Dominguez, before we go back to green, Mario, tell us how it looked from your seat.
Well, I went underneath Bruno, and we touched, and I spun. The moment I touched, I lost the rear of the car, and when I touched him, it bent my right front suspension, so can't keep going.
Now, I just noticed from the sign language when you came back, it looked like you were describing to the team you thought someone came down, but they said when they saw the replay, it looked like you came up. What's your assessment?
I'll have to watch the replay before I say anything, really. So, to me, I went underneath, and just wasn't enough room for me. I think he should have stayed a little bit more outside.
Thank you, Mario.
Restarting now to begin lap number 14, completing lap 13, and it's Sebastian Bourdais. Single file restart. Bourdais your leader. Allmendinger, Wilson, Serbia, and Catherine Legge, who had a great qualifying effort. She has advanced to 5th. Bourdais by 6 car lengths over Allmendinger.
And you run so much on the edge here on an oval like Milwaukee, right to the outside of the groove, and you'll see the groove outside on the corners. Now Nelson Philippe just put a move on Will Power, side by side. Ranger trying to get down underneath Will Power. Will Power has one of the best cars here, but understandably he just wants to let things settle down, particularly after seeing the huge crash that Tagliani, his teammate, had yesterday.
Power running right now in 7th. Ranger back there in 8th. And the MyJack Conquest number 27. There's Power in that green and yellow Aussie Vineyards machine. A little further back, this is the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Speedy Dan Clark there doing a nice job this weekend. His first ever trip to an oval track in car number 14 for the CCWS team. Good battle on track for 7th, 8th, and 9th. Bourdais by a 2.5 seconds over Allmendinger. Wilson and Serbia 3rd and 4th. Now Serbia ran 2nd here a year ago as we continue to focus on the battle for 7th position. There's the 8th place car of Ranger, and here comes Clark in 9th. Bourdais untouched up front, Derek. What a change for him.
Yeah, a change being he finally led a lap at Milwaukee. As good as he is, and the success that he has had in Champ Car every time Sebastian Bourdais came to Milwaukee, he could never get himself to the front. And believe it or not, he's still even on tenterhooks, not quite sure how this car will run throughout a full fuel stint.
And I imagine here the really key issue for these crews and drivers is finding the right balance between push and loose.
It's all about balance. It's all about a compromise. What can you change when run thousands of things on these cars to give the driver the feel, the confidence that he can stick his foot in it, brake a little bit later, really go on the ragged edge and do it time after time after time for 225 laps.
Sebastian Bourdais all alone out of 4, adding to his lead. Now, here's what's happened at Milwaukee for him. Average finish of 11th in 3 previous starts. Elsewhere, 7th. All other races.
Wow. And he will tell you he is not an oval track specialist. Of course, he came from the road racing background in Europe. And maybe it's a bit like Catherine Legge. Give her time. Give her time. Look at this here already after 19 laps, of which most of them are under yellow. Just flies around the outside of Pastorelli in the Rocket Sports car.
Also putting Cristiano D'Amata a lap down in the 19 car, the Dale Coyne machine. So the McDonald's number 1 of Sebastian Bourdais dominant early here on the Milwaukee Mile, whistling down into turn 3. On pit road.
We're ready, Seb. Fill the car, Brian.
They're bringing him in early here. Wow, 20 laps on the board. Jan
Clear
Beekes.
in and out, right on the mark.
Well, you heard Kenny Seawick, the right rear tire is going down. He will lose 2 laps in the process just by virtue of the pit speed limit on the way in and the way out. So unless everyone else has to stop under green today, this could be devastating for the home team.
Unbelievable development. That puts A.J. Allmendinger onto the point now. Allmendinger in the Rousport car number 10 machine, Derek, still searching for his first Champ Car win. This is 3rd season.
Wow, Jan mentions 2 laps. He loses 2 laps. It takes 35 seconds by the time you drive into pit lane, drive down at the 50 miles an hour, have your pit stop. The lap speeds are so fast here in the 21-second range that you lose those 2 laps. Now, Rousports knows exactly what just happened. It has fallen into their lap. Can they now call the yellows properly? Can they make their pit stop when people are going slowly around the racetrack if there are yellow flag situations?
Battling deep in the field, you've got Nelson Philippe and Catherine Legge fighting for position here. Legge 4th, Philippe 5th. We saw them a moment ago. Bourdais inside, trying to go 3 wide. He's being bucked by the slower car there. Oh, one car gets loose. That's one of the CTE-HVM machines around. That'll bring out a yellow in turn 4.
On the race line.
I think it's Clark.
Yellow.
One car around. Caution is out. It is Dan Clark who's gone around. Caution on the speedway. Jan Beekes.
Now let's take a look at what happened here with Sebastian Bourdais. If I put my microphone in here, probably hear the hiss of the tire. All it takes is that little pressure. And that's unfortunately what brought him to the pits. Now, if people pit under this yellow, guys, he'll be stuck on those laps that he lost. So if they take advantage of when the pit's open, that could be cooking for the Newman Haas team.
Unbelievable. Great qualifying for Bourdais. Dominant early here. Look at this.
Dan Clark is behind Ranger. He loses the air that he needs for downforce, has a long, lazy spin. You don't often spin on an oval track and get away with it like we just saw Dan Clark do. Nelson Philippe, on the other hand, his teammate, is running in a very strong 5th place. So this is one of our 6 rookies here who finds it all new at Milwaukee.
Well, the story of the afternoon so far, besides Bourdais having early problems and having to give up the lead, Catherine Legg 4th as we prepare for maybe some pit stops, definitely a restart. Camp Car safety team is out to collect Dan Clark. Didn't hit anything. He should be able to restart. They're going to sweep the track up there in 4. The concern, I'm sure, was there debris left on the racetrack after the early wreck involving Dominguez, Tracy, and Bruno Junqueira. Riding here with Charles Wolzman, the MyJack Conquest 34. And there is your race leader, A.J. Allmendinger, who qualified 3rd. Bourdais took off, led early. Junqueira got swept up in that wreck with Dominguez. Tracy was collected in it as well. They're all behind the wall. And that has allowed Allmendinger, when Bourdais had to pit early with that puncture, he now is your leader.
And the front runners are going to pull it here on Bourdais. They are going to come in, which means while they run slowly, Bourdais cannot make up. They show him 1 lap down right now. He's a lap down plus some track space. So Bourdais still got caught out by that puncture. But I see the Roo Sports team ready for this man here, A.J. Allmendinger, our leader. His teammate Wilson is 2nd. Catherine Legg, they're ready for her to come in. Yes,
both of the PKV cars have tires over the wall, and here comes Allmendinger.
You see Allmendinger get it sideways?
Down the pits. Watch your speed.
Top 3 will pit, Servia, but Legg will stay out.
Clear behind. Nice straight shot in.
Allmendinger, your leader. Wilson 2nd. Servia already on pit road.
And of course, A.J. Allmendinger is leading, but he stops first and is pitted behind. The preferred spot would be Justin Wilson here. So if Justin Wilson can get up there, he does! He beats it! Justin Wilson takes the lead! And A.J. Allmendinger slots into 2nd, and you can see A.J. gesture when he lost the pits. He was going, what the heck happened there? I just lost the lead in the pits.
Wow, that would just shows you how you depend on the group of people. But it looked like they did not put as much fuel into Wilson's car potentially. But actually, Catherine Legg, when it cycles through here, will be your race leader.
And Sebastian Bourdais may be able to get back on the lead lap off of this cycle as the field comes back up onto the back straightaway and getting back up to speed. Still under caution. Working lap 28 of 225 today here at the Milwaukee Mile. On board with Wolzman. Now, he will restart in 5th position. So Charles Wolzman, his first attempt in a Champ Car on an oval, doing a very nice job in the early going. Legg will be your restart leader.
And right behind Legg is Sebastian Bourdais. So he knows his mission. He's just a tiny bit over a full lap behind. He will attempt then to push his way past Catherine Legg. He's on the tail end of the lead lap then. And
Come Heath.
however,
P1, lead it.
Sebastian Bourdais has had his difficulties here. Let's show you what happened to him 2 years ago. Oh! Night race here. Brushed the wall out of 4. Ended his 9th. Early. Had to take the McDonald's car behind the wall. He came back and won the championship.
The leader. You pace him. Get ready.
Getting ready to restart.
Historical moment here.
Catherine Legg will lead her first lap in Champ Car, and what's this? Here comes Bourdais. Bourdais getting back on the lead lap.
Come on, Sebastian, let her lead a lap.
Bourdais gets back on the lead lap with that pass. On board Wilson. He is 2nd in front of Allmendinger. He's caught up high.
Wow, 2 teammates going at it hard here. Allmendinger and the CDW car of Justin Wilson. I don't know whether the team orders within this team because these boys go at it hard, but great pictures here. Allmendinger, who was leading, loses that place after the pit stop.
And Derek, I can tell you what happened in the pit stop was they had a trouble with A.J. Allmendinger, one of the wheels going on. They did take full fuel. Remember, they hadn't been out there that long. It didn't take long to fuel the cars. A miscue for A.J. That's why he dropped behind.
Catherine Legg is your leader. Justin Wilson 2/10 behind, putting pressure on Catherine Legg, who won 3 Champ Car Atlantic events on road courses a year ago, leading her first laps in the Champ Car World Series here at Milwaukee.
Spoke to her after she had a little bit of lunch, says she doesn't like to eat too much in the middle of the day, very much relying on Jimmy Vasser. Jimmy Vasser is here coaching Catherine Legg. Jimmy was very fast to tell me she has done a great job so far.
Vasser was the pole sitter here a year ago. They know how to set up that race car. Wilson, Allmendinger, Serbia, and Will Power, your top 5 in front of Ranger. There's Bourdais nearly a lap down, back in 10th. We'll be back at Milwaukee with more of the Time Warner Cable 225. This is the legendary Rex Mays, a 3-time winner here. This picture from 1939. This one from 1946. For the lead on the Milwaukee Mile, Justin Wilson and Catherine Legg. Legg is up high. She's been out in front, and she holds Wilson at bay out of turn 4. Catherine Legg turns back the challenge through 3 and 4. Great move. You're on board with Wilson in the CDW9 car. Now look at the different lines, Derek. Lap traffic ahead.
Wow, that was a great challenge for Catherine Legg to hang on.
Wilson to the inside.
On the high side, she braves it out and she goes on the outside line again.
Lap cars in the way. Wilson to the inside. Catherine is tied up on the outside, and Wilson takes the lead.
Outside, clear.
Justin Wilson makes the pass in lap traffic. Nikki Pastorelli back there with Cristiano D'Amata, and that forced Catherine to back out of the gas. Bill Stevens.
Down here with Jimmy Vasser. He's the V in PKV Racing. I know you're very proud with Catherine's performance so far.
She does a fantastic job. You know, really amazed at how well she took to her first oval, especially here in Milwaukee. You know, we lift her out there in front from the stop to let her lead a little bit. And, you know, we're all real happy for her here. You know, it's early in the race yet, and but I think she's been doing a great job.
Yeah, there were high fives down here when she led her first lap, and deservedly so.
I'll tell you what impressed me most about what happened there. Catherine recognized when she was in the slower traffic that the high line could potentially put her into trouble. Here's how it unfolds here. Catherine is on the left side of your screen, red and white car, left side. She realizes the high line and the traffic potentially put me into trouble. She backed out. Very right move there by Catherine Legg. Let Wilson go. Let the race unfold here.
Justin Wilson at the moment seems a bit quicker. Ran a 23:03 last lap, and he is now 1.8 seconds in front of Catherine Legg. So once he got the lead, Wilson's been able to pull away. Have a look.
Remember, he's now tried this twice already. He's on the power quicker than her. Now he's behind her. In the slipstream, goes down the inside. Can he make? No, can't make it. Backs it. Oh, corrects the car. Down changes. Catherine is stuck behind traffic. Now he sees the time to pounce. And she makes a wise move not to push that high line too much, too far, because the destruction that we saw earlier potentially could have been right in her lap.
That has to make every driver out here think about what the risks are, even with the safer barriers now in place here at the Milwaukee Mile, giving these drivers an extra margin of comfort. It is still a very tough place to race 2 or 3 wide, and we've had some of that already. All right, we are 45 laps into the Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225. Justin Wilson leads Catherine Legg. Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile, riding with Charles Wolzman. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford, the Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225. And coming up, your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Win a trip to the Grand Prix of Portland, plus a set of Bridgestone Potenza pole position tires, or a subscription to Auto Week. Our grand prize winner gets a new Ford Mustang GT and will join us in Mexico City for the season finale. Stay tuned for this week's code word, the Champ Car Live Fast sweepstakes, brought to you by Bridgestone. Our Monterey, Mexico winner, Nina Wright from Seattle, Washington, joining us here this weekend at the Milwaukee Mile. Alongside Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin, Bill Stevens, and Jan Bikus are on pit road. Charles Wolzman nicely in 9th. He is now 1 lap down. 8 cars remain on the lead lap. Royal Serbia also up in the running order. He is 4th right now.
You like to see a driver on an oval track have a very smooth steering. You didn't see that with Wolzman, and I believe Nelson Philippe, who we're watching here, just brushed to the wall. We get a report Oh, so they think he might have dropped something also. But Philippe, who had that monster crash 2 days ago, there he is right there.
Oil flag is out, that yellow and red.
Should I pass this lap car or not? No.
One more look at Philippe.
Oh, he's inside Servia. Okay, everything looks okay there. Then he goes across the backside of him. Whoa!
Loose off two.
Yeah, when you get down right in under a car, you lose the downforce because you get turbulent air suddenly. So he has now white-walled the right rear side of the CTE Racing HV.
Stay out. Does the car feel okay? Car feels fine. Starting to push a little bit, but I'm good. I'm good with how it's handling, so I wouldn't touch anything right now.
Saying he should leave the car alone. It feels all right. Wilson is your leader. We understand Sebastian Bourdais and Catherine Legge will come to pit road once pit road is opened in this fourth caution of the day.
Well, that's both teammates who have now spun or hit the wall and not taken themselves out. So these boys are dodging bullets. This is a very, very good team here run by Keith Wiggins. They've had probably more than their fair share of crashes over the last year. But it's a very good team. They have good racing cars here today, but boy, they have dodged 2 bullets today.
Lap leaders today, we've seen Bourdais from the pole, Allmendinger, Catherine Legge leading her first Champ Car laps, and now Justin Wilson, who passed Legge in traffic several laps ago, working lap 57 here today. That's the most we've had all season. Jan Beekes.
And if you're wondering why Sebastian Bourdais is going to come onto pit road, I had just spoken with his engineer, Craig Hampson, who said that with the mileage that they were getting, they still would have to stop 3 times. It was only supposed to be a 3-stop race. But because he had to pit so early with that leak in the tire, they have to make 3 more. They figure, why not make it under yellow? But they'll need more yellow to get back into sequence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, in fact, the yellow has helped him because everybody else slowed down, so he makes up the track position. Now he's going to come out of sequence, which means he'll only lose a little bit of track time, but he'll fill the car full of fuel and can run longer.
And Derek, the other thing you were commenting about, his speed was not all that quick to catch up to the leaders, and the reason was they had him at that time. And you're hearing
open now, Sebastian. Hit this lap 4 tires and fill the car.
I am right over the shoulder of Kenny Seawick. He's a native of Milwaukee.
Remember your brakes when you come in. Get some heat into them. Clear into your box and out.
So they will bring the 1 car, the McDonald's 1 car, the pole sitter today, Sebastian Bourdais. Catherine Legge, the Bell Micro 20.
The car is getting better, so I don't want to do anything that I'm not in control of.
Good girl.
Doesn't want any changes.
Yeah, I don't want to change anything that I'm not in control of. The boss, Kevin Kalkoven, watches his protege, very much his protege. They're going to peel her off, give her service under yellow. Ideal situation for Catherine Legge to do it under yellow.
Pit lane.
She is second right now.
Uncharted territory. First female to lead a Champ Car race.
Jan Halen the pit road as well. Bill Stevens.
Well, the reason Catherine said she didn't want any changes is because a few laps ago, she said the car was pushing, meaning she was turning the steering wheel, the car wasn't responding. They didn't make the adjustment. Jan Beekes.
And while Catherine Legge finishes her service, we get very, very quick service. That was 6.8 seconds for Sebastian Bourdais. And again, they now hope, or they know, that they only have 2 more pit stops, which is what everyone else has, and now they need some yellow to get back in sequence.
Justin Wilson stays on the racetrack, continues to lead over his teammate A.J. Allmendinger under caution for the 4th time today here at the Milwaukee Mile. 60 laps of 225 are complete. Servia and Philippe are 3rd and 4th. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile. Monday night on Speed inside Nextel Cup Racing. Dave, Kenny, Michael, and Brian take the jostling for position on the air. They'll analyze the hot laps, the hotter events from everything at Dover this weekend. Inside Nextel Cup, 7 Eastern, tomorrow night, only here on Speed. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. On pit road for us, Jan Beekes and Bill Stevens. Justin Wilson will be brought down behind the Ford Mustang GT pace car here this weekend to give the track crew, the Champ Car safety crew, an opportunity to blow off turns 1 and 2. 4 leaders so far. We've had 3 lead changes. Sebastian Bourdais literally from the pole. Right now 8 cars remain on the lead lap. 4 cautions total. And Paul Tracy Mario Dominguez, Bruno Junqueira, just like at Long Beach, Derek, very early, taken out of the race.
Which was a great shame. You mentioned the Champ Car safety crew blowing off the racetrack because of the rub against the wall by Nelson Philippe. It's an ideal time to send the jet dryers out because the debris they blow off is actually tire marbles, rolled up pieces of tire. So it's a safety aspect to give you two racing lanes also through these corners.
On board here with the Gulfstream machine of Oriol Servia. Still under caution, working lap 63. Let's take a moment here and have a look at our Ford Bold Moves moment at Milwaukee. Arriving in a 2007 Shelby Mustang GT500, PKV driver Catherine Legg recently joined Ford Motor Company Executive Vice President Ann Stevens in Dearborn. They attended a Women in Manufacturing forum talking about the keys to success.
Basically, I think it's about not giving up. You keep pushing and you keep pushing and you don't give up because that's the only way you're going to get anywhere.
In our business, that's how you keep getting better and better, and that's something in Catherine's business as well.
We need more women in every aspect. We need more women in engineering. We need more women mechanics. We need more women in PR. We need more women in everything.
What it's about is knowing what you want, getting the education and the experience, and going for it. Because people have so much capability, and it's just a matter of all of us going for what our dreams are.
Welcome back. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Fourth race of 2006. We're at the Milwaukee Mile. A.J. Allmendinger runs in second spot behind his teammate, leading Justin Wilson. Bill Stevens got to spend some time with A.J. a couple of days ago.
Hey, the Champ Car World Series is in Milwaukee, but Milwaukee is a big sports town in all areas. In fact, right now I'm at a Milwaukee Brewers baseball game with A.J. Allmendinger. And you've had a big day. Got interviewed on local radio before the game, and then you got to meet a boyhood idol.
Yeah, Robin Yount, even better, big race fan. And, the most exciting part of it was getting my legend Brett Favre jersey from Gilbert Brown and Santana Dotson. Huge Packer fan here.
Hey, let's get back to the game. I just had one question, though. What time does qualifying start?
There is no qualifying here.
What do you mean there's no qualifying?
I think AJ might miss his turn in the rotation next time around over here at Miller Park, which you can see just behind turn 3 of the Milwaukee Mile. Allmendinger in good shape right now. He'll restart behind his teammate, Justin Wilson. AJ has led some laps, half a dozen of them here today. How about Will Power in that Aussie Vineyards car, Derek Daly?
I think Will Power is having a very good day, and I think he will also feel the same way in his first oval. Bill?
Derek, you have no idea. If you get a good close look at that car, you'll notice that the right side mirror is gone. Debris from that earlier accident with the 3 cars took it right off of that automobile. And just look at how well he's doing without any vision to the right rear. And Derek, I got to ask you as a driver and as a rookie, that's pretty impressive.
It is impressive, but without that right rear view mirror, that is, wow. I've had that situation, and you feel so vulnerable. Now, luckily, he has the left side. Most of the action will come down on the inside, but boy, he is doing a good job despite having only one good eye.
Well, this is a relatively short oval. There's a school of thought in oval track, short track racing that says you don't need any mirrors, like in a sprint car. Just drive that thing as hard as you can into the corner. We will be back for the restart at the Milwaukee Mile.
Coming.
Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Our coverage today being brought to you by Mobile Clean 5000, seriously tough oil. By CDW, the right technology right away. And by Mazda, always the soul of a sports car. Back in Milwaukee, the restart just happening, and Nelson Philippe side by side with Oriol Servia down the backstretch. This is for third. Servia pulls him by a car length.
Brave move here by Nelson Philippe on cold tires to even attempt that move down the inside. Servia holds him off, and just behind him, Catherine Legg is in a dogfight with Sebastian Bourdais. He just passes her. Now he's after Will Power.
He got Will Power. Bourdais on that restart has moved to 5th. Remember, he was on the pole, led early, cut a tire, had to pit out of sequence to replace the right rear on the McDonald's number 1, and Bourdais is flying. He's back on sequence now, 2 seconds behind the leaders, approaching Nelson Philippe, who runs 4th.
And this now is a straight fight between Sebastian Bourdais, who we know is always fast, And the front runners right now, Wilson and Allmendinger and Servia.
Up the backstretch. Here comes Bourdais to the inside of Philippe. There's power. Up ahead, the real action taking place as Bourdais moves by Nelson Philippe and takes over fourth. Now he's got Catherine Legg in his sights. Allmendinger about 1.8 seconds back. Servia third. Fourth belongs to Bourdais out of turn 2.
Bourdais feels confident. You only make those moves down the inside on an oval track if you have that confident feel in your car. But Wilson beginning to stretch the lead now over his teammate Allmendinger, Servia, and Dennis Bourdais.
And Derek, the reason that you see such a racy Sebastian Bourdais, remember, he is on new tires because he pitted. Lots of the other cars that are out there are not on the new Bridgestones. Makes a big difference, and of course he's not saving fuel anymore. He's got all the fuel he wants, so he can really stand on it.
On board here with Servia. Bourdais trying to nose inside him in 3 and 4. Derek, he can't do it.
Got under his rear wing. That's the typical slipstream. Servia did not want to give it up. Stays on the high line, maintains that momentum. Momentum is such a great thing in these long oval track corners. Bourdais now has to size him up again. Size him up, get under his rear wing, get over the surface change here. How can he now make his way past Servia? How can Servia hold him off?
Justin Wilson is your leader, 2.8 seconds in front of A.J. Allmendinger. Another 1.5 seconds back is this battle for third. Servia in the PKV car number 6, the red and white machine, the Gulfstream car, leading the series champion Bourdais back there in the McDonald's number 1.
And as we watch this fight, these drivers in the 23.3 second range. Wilson is absolutely flying out in the lead in the 22s. He's almost 0.4 of a second faster than these boys here. That is huge on an oval track. Bill?
And we'll get back to
And
Bill
the spirits down here in the PKV pit are pretty high right now. They've already seen Catherine Legg lead this race. Oriol Servia, you'll remember, he had that crash earlier this weekend. That's his backup car. Even they think that this automobile is an overachiever today.
Jimmy Vasser, Kevin Kalkov, and Justin Wilson in the CDW9, putting Nicky Pastorelli another lap down. Pastorelli shown 11th, but he'll be 4 laps down this time by. Wilson adding to his lead. Now 4.4 seconds in front of his teammate A.J. Allmendinger. Wilson in the CDW car. Derek, 2 years ago, the first time he came to the Milwaukee Mile, he wrecked a ton right there, coming off turn 2 in one of the MyJack Conquest machines. Of course, moved to Rousport for 2005 and won 2 races on his way to a very strong finish in the championship. Wilson trying to get on the board for the first time in 06 here at this very difficult 1 mile flat oval.
He is very gifted. Finished 4th last year, and there is the pursuer, his teammate, A.J. Allmendinger. He cannot run as fast as Wilson at this particular time. He does not have the balance that Wilson enjoys as they make their way again past the slower traffic. Pastorelli, Nicky Pastorelli from the Netherlands, has not been comfortable in the Rocket Sports car at all at any time this week.
And Derek, when you talk about the handling and the tough time that A.J. Allmendinger's having, he called in before the previous stint and said the car is very hard to drive, the same problem we had in the first stint. Typically when you say it's hard to drive, that means it's loose.
Allmendinger in second, though. At the moment, his advantage over Oriol Servia, about 0.9 of a second. Here's Servia with Bourdais behind him.
Good job, Oriol. Good job. Keep pushing, buddy.
The race for third. You're on board with Servia in the Gulfstream Lola.
This is a good fight here, straight fight. Bourdais cannot make headway in the fight. Nelson Philippe is right there. That is the dark car right behind Bourdais, so he has the type of speed to hang on to this top 5. And Will Power is now 6th, Catherine Legg 7th, Rangers, Walsman, and Dan Clark top 10.
Watching this battle, you're watching 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There's Philippe in car number 4. Huge hit in the wall here Friday. Jan Halen's been on pit road again in the Sonny's barbecue car for Dale Coyne. Down into the corner, there is Servia. Here comes Philippe in 5th position, doing a nice job.
Yeah, badly bruised knee from that crash he suffered on Saturday morning. He hit so hard backwards as you watch Nelson Philippe here. His knee hit the steering column so hard, it actually bent it. He's hobbled around the paddock ever since. But Nelson Philippe, you can see Philippe just has a confident look and feel about him today, despite the fact that he made that error earlier and he autographed the concrete wall coming off turn 4. But Friday, man, he had a walloper.
Trying to close in a little bit now on Bourdais.
Now the interesting thing, as you look at this crash from Nelson Philippe, when he got it backwards, rotates right there, the gearbox speared right in through that new safer wall that you see all the way around Milwaukee. It speared into that so hard it put a hole, and you can see the destruction here. Tess Brelia on the left side there, one of the female mechanics, she's a Canadian girl, worked night and day to put this thing back together. Just delighted to see their charge running fifth, and running a very strong fifth.
Yeah, he's gotten by Bourdais, I do believe. That is Bourdais back there in the McDonald's car. Let's have a look as they come off the corner. Or is that Speedy Dan Clark in the mix?
He did get by Bourdais.
Philippe got
absolutely right.
Philippe to fourth. Now let's have a look. Here he comes on Servia, going for third. Nelson Philippe with a great run. Fourth at Houston. He's coming up also on Allmendinger. We've got a battle for second, third, and fourth. Servia gets second away from Allmendinger, who is off the pace. Here comes Bourdais. He's going to go back around Nelson Philippe. Philippe backed out of it there and let Bourdais go. So big action here at Milwaukee.
What happened there was Nelson Philippe crossed under the rear wing of Allmendinger. Suddenly the turbulent air loses him his grip. We saw it with Catherine Legg earlier on. The best thing to do is just ease out of it slowly. This is a traffic jam, and Allmendinger is hanging on as best he can to the outside line.
So now Servia and Bourdais are back in front of this group. Puts Servia in second, Bourdais in third, Philippe in fourth. Allmendinger shuffled all the way back to fifth, the 10 car. Huge push for the 10 car. They need to bring him to pit road as we come up on lap number 90. Now Philippe had gotten by and moved to third.
Wow, this is a great run. Off turn 4, down the front straight here. Nelson Philippe got in under him before Bourdais could take that tighter line. A great move by Nelson Philippe. And here's what happened with the traffic jam. Philippe backs off. Then he goes to go by Allmendinger. Now washes out. Look at him go wide, wide, wide. Bourdais is on the outside. Whoa, this is tough stuff here. Bill?
What's really impressive about Nelson Philippe's run is this is only his third time here in Milwaukee after that crash earlier this weekend. I spoke to him and you could tell that his confidence was suffering. Obviously, he's got it back today.
Well, he's also got a great race car, Derek. Remember here 2 years ago, Ryan Hunter-Reay drove that car, led every lap under the lights here, set a Champ Car World Series record. The CTE HVM team, they know how to set that race car up for this place.
And CTE, Cedric the Entertainer, joined this team earlier this year. He is leading him to potential commercial partners, but they are enjoying what they see here. And Philippe again goes down the inside. Oh, does he make it? He does.
Put Philippe up in third. He gets by Bourdais. Boy, you don't see that happen every day. Here comes Bourdais again. Bourdais right back at him into three. Watch this.
Okay, boys, let's make sure we don't get too overconfident here, but Nelson Philippe.
Here for third, Servia and Bourdais.
Good stuff here. They're still side by side. Bourdais just squeezes the position for the moment only.
Bourdais and Philippe, though, staging the real battle for third spot. Servia's up in second. Now Bourdais uses the lap car of Nicky Pastorelli as a pick to open up a big advantage on Philippe. But that shows you how good Philippe is getting, Derek, at age 19. Fourth at Houston, his best career finish a couple of weeks ago. Wrecked on lap 1 at Monterey. Never saw the checkered flag there, trying to bounce back here. This is a great race for second, third, and fourth.
And he is racing with the best of the best here. Bourdais is as good as you get. Servia, we know how good he is also. Bourdais now closes back in on Servia again. They try to squeeze it down the inside. Right here. Can he make it?
Inside.
Oh, Servia rides around the outside.
Still there. Inside. Clear.
Bourdais' car just isn't working well up in 3 and 4. Here he comes again down the front stretch.
Inside. Still there. Inside.
For second spot at Milwaukee.
Still there.
And Rick, the McDonald's team begs to differ. I just spoke with them, and they think their car's fine. They just said that Nelson Philippe is on fire, and they're happy with the balance of the car. I think Sebastian's being a little conservative.
Bourdais to second spot. You're on board with Servia now. He had to back out of it. Here comes Philippe trying to get by. I think Servia may be holding Philippe up here a little, Derek.
Nelson Philippe just needs to gather gather his wits about him here. Just be patient. He has a very good racing car. Just use it wisely. Let this race unfold a little bit. Don't force the issue. Even though you're 19 years old, Nelson Philippe having by far his best oval track race here.
Down the back straightaway, Bourdais second. This is for third. Serbia and Philippe. Your leader is Justin Wilson. He'll put 100 laps on the board next time by here at Milwaukee. 125 to go. Wilson downshifting for pit road, perhaps, Jan?
Yes, they have set up for him for a green flag
AJ's
stop.
box is wide open. AJ's box is wide open. Really work on your marks here. It's going to be a full fill.
They're going to walk him all the way in. Remember,
Got vibration, that must have been.
talking.
Pickup. You're going to need some good outlaps on fresh tires.
Okay, when he talks, oh, he slid a little bit too far. That'll slow down the pit stop somewhat. When he talks about vibration and the answer was pickup, that means he picked up some rubber on the racetrack. Obviously, a cure to vibration is put 4 Bridgestones on the car. A little bit slower than he would like.
Good outlaps here. Steve Bass is on a different strategy from us, so he's going to end up cycling through in front for a bit.
Well, that's true unless there's a caution. But that was about 12-second stop.
And they have really been strong on pit road. Now that hands the lead to Sebastian Bourdais and moves Serbia here in the Gulfstream car into second. Here comes Will Power to pit road. He was running up in the 5th spot now for the Aussie team, Aussie Vineyards team, the Derek Walker's crew. And the 5-car bunch going to work, putting 4 new Bridgestone Potenzas on that car.
Get ready. Hold it. Go. Clear behind, all clear behind, go clear.
Power down and away. They fueled that car. Nelson Philippe has had service. Here comes Allmendinger. He was second. He's backed up. Jan Beekes.
And we'll see if this time they can change. He also slides a little bit past the box. This is a case if you change the tire pressures, 1 pound of tire pressure is equal to 50 pounds on the spring.
Clear, wide open.
So although you didn't see any obvious changes, you can make some big changes by tire pressure, and hopefully they can tighten up the car for AJ.
This lap.
Sebastian Bourdais out in front. This wave of pit stops. Remember, he's on a different pit stop schedule now. Needs the same number of stops, but does not have to stop at the same time. He stopped early with that cut right rear tire. Oriol Serbia to pit road.
Nice and easy. Hold your brakes.
Serbia's in the pits. Watch Phil Davis, the left front tire changer, go to work. They're going to put a little bit more grind into the front wing to give him a little bit more downforce over those front wheels. Otherwise, no other changes.
Whoa. Serbia down and away. Little wing adjustment. Derek can fix a lot here.
Yeah, that is definitely hair-em, scare-em time as he takes a tear off from his helmet, gives him a nice clear visor to look through, but so much happens in these pit stops with all these guys over the wall making these finite adjustments. And as Bourdais leads here, the opportunity he has now is the potential for a yellow while everybody else has made a green pit stop, and he could potentially take advantage of a yellow now.
Remember, Jan Beekes told us earlier, if you pit here under green, you'll lose 2 laps. Now, everybody has to stop the same number of times, so it should all work out. If you get caught out during a caution, it can be devastating. We thought that might have happened to Bourdais. Chasing Bourdais, 15 seconds behind, is Catherine Legg in the PKV Bell Micro number 20. She's she's more than half a track behind right now. But earlier today, Catherine led laps under green. She becomes the first woman in Champ Car World Series history to lead a lap in competition. She led 12 laps here today. Previously, Desiree Wilson, Janet Guthrie, Lynn St. James, and Arlene Hiss had run in this series. None had ever led a lap until today. Catherine Legg, 3 times a winner last year in the Champ Car Atlantic Series, makes history here at the Milwaukee Mile. Derek, this is a place where I thought certainly...
Outside clear.
Spotter coaching her down the front straightaway with the lap car. Nikki Pastorelli on the high side, the Rocket Sports 8 car. I thought her first laps out front would come on a road circuit. Here she comes to Milwaukee. Great setup of the car and leads. Now, Bourdais on the outside of one of the CTE HVM cars. Going by there. Nelson Philippe and Serbia back further in the field.
Wow, they're still at it. Right after the pit stop, Philippe and Serbia still going at it here. A battle for 5th place, and Nelson Philippe, to me, looks like he has more car here than Oriol Serbia. What a great... This is a great fight here. Philippe and Serbia in lockstep.
Oriole P6, Wilson. Oriole P5, Wilson P4.
In front of these two, Andrew Ranger has brought the MyJack Conquest Tide 27 car to third. Ranger's a lap down, just 2 cars on the lead lap right now. Bourdais maybe about to lap Catherine Legg and put her a lap down. He would be all alone on the lead lap, Derek, after the trouble he had earlier. This is a great race, though. This is the battle here between Philippe and Serbia for 5th.
But remember, he's out of sequence, so he is going to have to peel off pretty soon. Here comes Philippe. Down the front straight.
Orioles on the inside. He's on the inside.
Lap traffic? No. That's all. They get together.
Clear.
Nearly a disaster out of turn 2. It looked like Philippe got a wheel up into the side pod of Serbia.
We've got the blue flag coming. Philippe for position.
Serbia did not give up. Philippe poked his nose down the inside. Man, that was now white knuckle stuff right there. Here's Philippe down the inside. Thinks he has it made. Serbia hangs on. Oh!
Actually, it would have been a brush on the front wheels, and they just missed. It sure looked like they got together. Here we are again, 5th still in play. Serbia, the red and white 6 car. The Gulfstream Lola from the PKV team. Nelson Philippe, the Burden and Bear CTE HVM car. Car number 4 right behind him in 6th. A.J. Allmendinger back there in 7th. These cars are 2 laps down to Bourdais, who is all alone on the lead lap, Derek. We are past halfway. 111 laps to go today here at Milwaukee. As we check in with some of the other cars further back in the field. Charles Zwolsman back there. Here comes Bourdais to put him another lap down. Zwolsman 9th. He's about to go 5 laps down to the leader in the MyJack Conquest 34. The McDonald's number 1. Sebastian Bourdais going for 4 in a row to open up the season here at the Milwaukee Mile. 110 trips to go. Legg is 2nd. Ranger is 3rd. We'll be back on Speed. Coming up on 100 laps to go at the Milwaukee Mile as Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford with Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. Your chance now to enter the Champ Car Live Fast Sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Win a trip to the Grand Prix of Portland, plus a set of Bridgestone Potenza pole position tires, or an Auto Week subscription. One grand prize winner against the new Ford Mustang GT. Joins us in Mexico City for the season finale. Our code word this week, call. The official rules and an entry at champcar.ws. The Champ Car Live Fast Sweepstakes presented by Bridgestone. Nelson Philippe has dispatched Oriole Serbia, Derek. I think Serbia might have been holding him up. So put Philippe up into 5th. Justin Wilson now is ahead of him in 4th. Ranger is 3rd. Legg is 2nd. As he's in heavy traffic again here with his teammate Dan Clark. Clark lapping by Pastorelli. That is for 10th and 11th. And Philippe gets by in that 4 car. So Philippe remains in 5th position.
Typical short 1 mile oval type of action. Traffic jams. And at the speed these cars go, you daren't back out of the power. You lose so much momentum. So Nelson Philippe, as you see him right here, he is brim full of confidence.
Allmendinger, meantime, moving by Serbia, Derek. He's back up to 6th there in the Roof Sport number 10, the yellow and white car.
Isn't it amazing? So Serbia had good handling. Now it drops off a little bit. We saw A.J. Allmendinger get in difficulty at the end of the run the last time. Now he's back on song again as we go on board with Oriole Serbia coming down the front straight here, trying to get by Dan Clark. Dan Clark, teammate of Philippe.
And forgive me, it was a pass actually made on Catherine Legg, who remains in 2nd spot. Now that was an exchange between a car 2 laps down, Serbia, and Legg 1 lap down. And here comes Serbia back by Philippe for 5th. Or was that Dan Clark that he just went by?
It was Dan Clark. Yes,
Dan Clark
it was.
in the 14.
Almost identical cars, helmet, color scheme. Is the only thing you can tell a difference.
On board with Serbia here.
Look at the brake disc. The left rear brake disc, or not the disc, the air duct is coming loose on Serbia's car.
Your leader is Sebastian Bourdais. 2 laps to the good now over Catherine Legg. He's running laps a second quicker than Legg, Jan Beekes.
Yes, and remember that when he pits, he will most likely retain the lead.
Guys, Bill in the car, right on the mark step.
But he will probably be then on the same lap, same sequence. Obviously, things going great for Sebastian Bourdais. His teammate, by the way, Bruno Junqueira, was checked out okay. He's left the circuit. He was iced down, but said it was a bigger hit than yesterday. A bit longer than you might think.
Catherine Legg whistling by meantime. Justin Wilson has grabbed the advantage for now, according to timing and scoring. Bourdais has to observe the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit exiting pit road until he clears that yellow curb and can come up onto the back straightaway here at the Milwaukee Mile. So it should put Wilson out in front of Legg, Ranger, Philippe, and Serbia. Those cars a lap down to the leader, Bourdais. Now Bourdais will cycle around. We'll find out exactly what the gap is here momentarily as they go back on the lead lap. It is Wilson.
Slow car exiting the pit, coming out on turn 3.
And it does appear, according to timing and scoring, as though Bourdais has maintained the lead, even though he stopped under green.
Clear.
And that was the point. By him getting 2 laps up, you lose just under 2 laps in the pits. And that's what I was trying to say, is that if he got out, he should be able to maintain the lead. But at least they're all on the same lap with Bourdais to try and catch him.
Clear.
Exactly so. Watching Wilson in the CCWS car, Yanni's 10 seconds back of Bourdais. So you're exactly right. Timing and scoring had showed him up a lap when he came to pit road, but it was more than that actually because the field hadn't cycled around yet to complete another lap under the scoring system here, the electronic scoring in place at the Milwaukee Mile. Here's your leader, Bourdais. 10.6 seconds up on Wilson last time by. Wilson runs in second in front of Catherine Legg, doing a terrific job today. She became the first female to ever lead laps in a Champ Car World Series event. She runs third in front of Andrew Ranger, who quietly has moved to 4th spot in that 27 car, the MyJack Conquest machine. He started 12th today. They're about to bring Catherine Legg to pit road. Here she comes. Bill Stevens.
You remember they just adjusted the wing on Oriol Servia's car. His teammate Catherine Legg has requested no changes to the car, just fresh rubber, a full load of methanol, and she's away.
Airspace.
Under the watchful eye of team owner Kevin Kalkoven, but they did adjust the left front wing there.
Yes, they did. I don't know whether they decided for her we need to make a change. Usually the driver does have the last comment or the last word. They definitely made a wing adjustment for Catherine Legg. We just saw that over the watchful eye of Kevin Kalkoven, one of the busiest men in all of motorsports. So Bourdais, Wilson, all the significant front runners have to do the same number of pit stops from here on in. So it is still a fight of outright speed. And can Justin Wilson, who looks as strong as Bourdais out there, can he make up the gap and can he begin to challenge?
Well, the question coming in here this weekend was, could Bourdais figure this place out? We showed you earlier how he had struggled. Hit the wall here 2 years ago. Struggled here in 03. Last season ran 6th. Was never really competitive. Didn't qualify well. The Newman Haas team came here. They put this car on the pole. The McDonald's machine out qualifying the field. Bourdais' 3rd Bridgestone Pole Award of 2006. Got to the drop of the green, took off like a shot, led laps early, then had that cut tire on lap number 20. And that put him behind, but he has battled back, and he is now 12.5 seconds ahead of the CCWS car of Justin Wilson. Tonight, NASCAR Victory Lane takes center stage on speed. Pop the cork with John, Jimmy, and Kenny. Today's event from Dover, of course, all the highlights. Tonight, the winner will be out of his car and on set for a post-race chat on NASCAR Victory Lane, 8 Eastern tonight only, here on Speed. From the Milwaukee Mile, I'm Rick Benjamin. Derek Daly alongside Jan Beekes, Bill Stevens on pit road. 4th race of 2006. Boy, it has been a year to remember so far for Sebastian Bourdais. You have to go all the way back to the 60s and A.J. Foyt to find a driver who opened up the season with a win streak like this one if Bourdais can close the deal here today with 88 miles to go. Let's take a look now. Our Mazda Power Play will show you halfway home here at the Milwaukee Mile. Green flag in the air for J.D. Wilbur, and that's Bourdais charging to the lead in front of A.J. Allmendinger in the early going. Action on lap number 3. Big wreck here. Mario Dominguez slipped up the racetrack, touched Bruno Junqueira. Paul Tracy just got clipped. It turned him into the wall. All 3 cars, their day was done. Bruno's 2nd hard wreck of the weekend. Fortunately, they've iced down his injured spine from a year ago. He is okay. He's already left the speedway. 20 laps in, Bourdais had to give up the lead. An unscheduled stop. He had cut the right rear tire on the McDonald's car. They had to bring him in for a 4-tire change. They gave him some fuel. He is on a different pit stop sequence now from the rest of the leaders. That's with A.J. Allmendinger on point here for the first time this afternoon. Allmendinger led several laps. Now, down in turn 3 again, Dan Clark behind this pack of traffic. He had the rear end get away from him. He kept the Bourdais Bear 14 car off the wall and was able to keep it going, keep it safe. He was able to return. Justin Wilson and A.J. Allmendinger, the Roosport team, pitting together. But as we have seen several times this season, the CDW team servicing Wilson's car a bit quicker than the Roosport squad seems to be able to do for Allmendinger. Wilson took the lead on pit road from Allmendinger. Now on the restart here, Catherine Legg had the point. She stayed on the racetrack. Bourdais unlapped himself at that point, diving to the bottom into turn 1. Bourdais had to work to get back to the lead. Quite a battle here. Justin Wilson and Catherine Legg. This was for the lead. Legg got caught on the lap traffic on the high side. Wilson able to duck low on the front straightaway and take over the point. How about that? Nelson Philippe loose off turn 2, tagged the wall with the right rear corner of the Bourdais Bear CTE HVM car. He was okay. Bourdais here working, trying to move up around Catherine Legg, and Will Power here as his charge back to the front has paid off. He's back out in front on lap 142. He moves by Philippe here. This put him up into 4th at the time. And then splits the difference inside. Allmendinger going into 3. As a great move here, they had a battle between Oriol Servia, Allmendinger, and Philippe. And then we saw Bourdais move by Oriol Servia here in the Bell Micro, the Gulfstream car number 6. Wilson would stop again. They would put fuel in the 9 car and put 4 new Bridgestone Potenza Blacks on the car. Wilson came to pit road. That vaulted Bourdais to the lead for the second time today. He continues to run out in front despite the fact that at one point he was 2 laps down. That is a fast race car. Bourdais running a 23:15, Derek. That's about 2/10 quicker than Justin Wilson ran just this last lap.
Sebastian Bourdais, long chat to him yesterday. And I mentioned this at Long Beach. There is still a sense of frustration with this Frenchman that he has dominated Champ Car racing over here. He has done everything a driver could possibly do, and yet nobody from Formula One even recognizes his great talent.
Well, we certainly do. Obviously one of the great drivers in the world today. Beautiful scenes around Milwaukee with the Milwaukee Mile. For the Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225, Bourdais is out in front with Wilson. Legg back in 7th right now in front of Ranger, Zwolsman, and Clark. Back in 1963, first time an all rear-engine front row here, the great Jimmy Clark and the equally great Dan Gurney. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Under caution for the 5th time today. Debris spotted on the back straightaway here at the Milwaukee Mile. Coming up tonight at 9. Join Dave Despain for Wind Tunnel. Get fired up. Fill Dave's voicemail. The number is 866-W-TUNNEL all weekend long. The more animated you are, the more you'll be heard on Wind Tunnel with Dave Despain tonight at 9 Eastern on Speed. Kevin Kalkoven's going to talk to Dave tonight on Wind Tunnel. Should be most interesting. A lot of talk about the future of the Champ Car World Series this week, and we should learn more about that perhaps tonight here on Wind Tunnel. Sebastian Bourdais, the dominant force. This will allow Justin Wilson to pack up behind along with the rest of the field. Wilson, though, the only other car on the lead lap as the Champ Car safety team, led by Lon Bromley, goes back to work around the backside of this historic race course to take a look and see just what might be out there. Champ Car pace car team. Stacy Kuhn from Englewood, Colorado, driving the Ford Mustang GT this weekend with Kelly Williams from Toronto, Ontario, Canada in the shotgun seat. Looks like most everybody should come in when pit road opens up. Looks as though this one will become a timed race to 1 hour 45 today. 72 laps to go by distance, but only 24 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the clock here today. So it looks as though we will end on time, Derek, at 1:45. And I would think in that situation, since we've got 24 minutes to go, I think you'd run probably 50 laps or so, depending on the number of cautions remaining in the day. And that would mean one final stop should do it for these teams. About 50 miles of racing to go.
And it will be one final stop. And think about this. What's going to happen is that huge gap that Justin Wilson had to make up. He was on the same lap to try and catch the leader. Now behind the pace car, he's going to close down on that gap.
What's even better, Jan, not everybody came in, so Wilson is now 1, 2, 3 cars behind Bourdais after this stop, yeah?
And we're at Sebastian Bourdais' pit. At the same time, we will watch to see what happens with Justin Wilson. A very quick stop. Wow. Right around 7 seconds is what we saw for Bourdais, and we're continuing to watch Justin Wilson.
And both PKV teammates come in and come out. No adjustments to Oriol Servia. He just told his team the car's as good as it's been all day. And yes, Catherine Legge had a wing adjustment in her last pit stop to try to cure the understeer she talked about earlier today.
On board here, Wilson. He will come back up onto the racetrack. Now, Wilson will give up a lot of track position, Derek. That was a long stop for the CDW team.
However, if they made any adjustments to his car, it did not look towards the end of that last stint that Wilson was that happy with the handling of his car. If they've managed to change it and give him the balance he seemed to enjoy earlier on, he could well run down Sebastien Bourdais, because right now he is only 3 cars behind Bourdais in line.
Yeah, I mean, Derek, they did change the car, and they changed it predominantly with tire pressures. He, like A.J. Allmendinger, his teammate earlier, the car was going loose. So they've changed those tire pressures again. Like we said earlier, 1 pound of tire pressure is the same as changing a spring by 50 pounds. So you have a big range. He should be better.
Still under caution here at the Milwaukee Mile, preparing for a restart with 22 minutes of action still to come your way today. Bourdais, Wilson, Philippe, Allmendinger, and Oriol Servia, the top 5. Catherine Legge chasing Will Power as they fight it out for 6th. A lot of history at this place. 1952, Iron Mike Nazarick in car number 73 won the Rex Mays Memorial.
They're blowing the track and they don't want him.
Jan, I don't know whether I've seen the...
Welcome back to Milwaukee. The Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Sebastien Bourdais is your leader. 158 laps of the original 225 are complete, but this will be a timed race. Disaster for Will Power here, Derek Daly.
Watch the right rear wheel. Right rear wheel. Watch it. Watch it. Little piece of something that shouldn't be there, about to pop out. There she goes. There she goes. End of Will Power's day. That actually... Bill, you know what that was?
Down here with Rob Edwards. He, of course, is with Team Australia. What a great run for Will today, and for just to end this way, it's got to be a disappointment.
Yeah, it's very disappointing, particularly coming on top of what happened yesterday with Alex as well. But I think for the first time on an oval, Will really did himself proud. The guys did a good job with the car and getting the setup right. And I'm sure Will learned a lot, ready for coming back again next year.
What was impressive to us, he lost his right side rear view mirror earlier in the race, and yet he stayed out of trouble.
Yeah, he stayed out of trouble. I think, Derek Walker's got a lot of experience, was spotting for him from up top and talking him through, and I think they developed a good bit of teamwork today, and I think that helped a lot.
All right, we're going to get Will Power. He's standing right over here. Will, great run today. To have it end like this, I know you're disappointed.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing. The mechanical failure, that's life though. Just got to take it on the chin, and hopefully Portland will be on the money.
Better luck next time.
And Bill Stevens with Will Power. Your chance to enter the Champ Car Live Fast Sweepstakes, brought to you by Bridgestone. With a trip to the Grand Prix of Portland, plus a set of Bridgestone Potenza pole position tires, or a subscription to Auto Week. One grand prize winner gets a new Ford Mustang GT. And will join us in Mexico City for the series finale. Code word is Paul. Your official rules and to enter at the website champcar.ws. The Champ Car Live Fast Sweepstakes, brought to you by Bridgestone. With Derek Daly, I'm Rick Benjamin. Derek, about 17 minutes to go.
Just so as everybody knows, it was a CV joint that broke on Will Power's car. So, although it looked like a wheel nut, it was actually the insides and the ball bearings of the CV joint on the end of the drive shaft. He drove around. The reason you could drive around, of course, is they have a spool or a solid rear axle. So one wheel that's driving on the back allowed Will Power to drive all the way back. The Aussie Vineyards guys had a good weekend despite the fact that they lost a car yesterday.
Bill Stevens, does Will Power have anything else to say about his day down there? What do you think?
Well, you've got to be happy with your run today, especially first time here at the Oval.
Yeah, I mean, the car was running really well, and we were just sort of keeping in there, and just we had a mechanical failure when I took off from the pits with the broken drive shaft, and yeah, it's disappointing, but that's life, and we'll take it on chin and then go to Portland and hopefully be really strong.
Were you a little unsettled when you lost that right side mirror?
Yeah, it was a pretty big piece of debris come flying in my head, and I weaved and took the mirror off. But yeah, I mean, that was my first oval start, and that was pretty interesting for a first lap.
I think you made a lot of fans today. Nice job.
Thank you.
There is a racing series in Europe called the World Series Powered by Renault Championship. It is very, very highly regarded in Europe. Will Power won 2 of those races last year. This boy can drive a racing car, and that accent is from Toowoomba, Queensland. Jan?
With Carl Russo, who of course is the owner for Justin Wilson and AJ, but for Justin, he's been complaining about the car. Have you made some changes and you think he'll be okay now?
Yeah, each car has been struggling a little bit with the track. We don't seem to have the car speed, the outright car speed that Sebastian has, but we've got 2 good race cars. We made a small adjustment on the last pit stop. We think we're good to go. Justin and Sebastian are the 2 guys up front. They're both on the lead lap, and hopefully we can bring CDW to the front.
Is it a case where some tire pressure change or a little bit of wing is going to be enough to catch Sebastian, or now you're just thinking you just got to keep him in touch?
If I knew anything about racing, I'd be able to answer your question, but I think we have enough. Do we think we can go racing? I don't know if we have enough for him or not, but we're going to go find out right now.
While we're talking about AJ, did he have a similar type problem with the car being loose?
Yeah, the car went loose, as you noted early on. About halfway through the race, went big time loose, and he basically did what he had to do, which is drive it out, and now he's in a position to get up to the podium as well.
All right, well, I know that you said if you knew something about racing, but I know you know lots about racing. You got to be very pleased with the step forward your team has made this year.
I think the team's done a fantastic job. I mean, obviously Newman Haas has been the class of the field. We've got a lot of work to do, but it's a set of folks that just simply don't give up. We're going to go to the front and keep racing, and put ourselves in a position to win, and hopefully we'll win some of these.
And what's it going to take? I mean, I know you've done everything, but to take the next step, to catch Bourdais, but then to pass him, what do you think as an organization it's going to take?
I'm kissing Paul Newman on the lips. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
All right, I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Carl.
Let me tell you, it'll take more than that.
Some guys will try anything to get to victory lane in one of these races. Getting set for a restart at the Milwaukee Mile. J.D. Wilbur will look at him over from the flag stand. It will not be this time by as the Ford Mustang GT pace car stays on the speedway. Sebastian Bourdais, Justin Wilson, Nelson Philippe, AJ Allmendinger. Has he just been, asked for a date here? I don't know if he understands that or not. Bill Stevens.
Back down here with Jimmy Vassar at PKV. Jimmy, it's going to be exciting. We're getting into the latter stages of the race. Both your drivers showing very well.
Yeah, Ariel's done a great job in the Gulfstream car, and how about that Catherine in the Bell Micro car? I mean, she's really done a fantastic job. Her first oval race ever. I think we got a little bit behind in the last bit of stops, but we're ready to go for the end.
Little birdie told me Oriole has more power to pass than anybody.
Going, Oriole. Well, you better start to use it then, huh?
Thanks.
Yellow.
Down to Jan Bigas.
With Craig Hampson and Craig with Sebastian Bourdais, it certainly looks like you got everything in the bag. Is that the case?
Yeah, I wish they didn't realign the field like that. I liked having those lap-down cars there. The rule says in the final laps of the race, they'll get the lap-down cars out of the way. We've got about 40 laps left to go in this race. It's going to be time shortened, but I don't know. They want to put on a good show for all you fans, so that's what they're doing. I think the car's pretty good. We put in more fuel than we really needed on that last stop because I thought we, had everything well in hand. So now I kind of wish we had really cut the margins the way we really needed to. But hopefully that extra weight doesn't affect us and we can bring this thing home. Honestly, we struggled here a lot in the past few years, and we came into it saying we just wanted a top 5. And, as well as we run, I'd like a win, but we'll see.
I think things are looking good for much better than a top 5. You heard in the background, they're getting ready to go to green.
Craig Hampson's wife, Helen, had a baby girl after Monterey, Hannah Cole. I doubt she's watching Dad, but Dad's having a good day.
We congratulate the Hampsons and the Newman Haas team. Bourdais, your restart leader. Wilson, Philippe, Allmendinger, and Servia. And
Philippe is fast. Watch Philippe here in that very dark-colored HCM car, because he is brave today.
He takes him down into one. Should be about 35 laps to go. You see the time clock, top left of your screen. 12 minutes of racing remaining here at the Milwaukee Mile. For second spot, Philippe tries to dive bomb Wilson.
Oh, look at this side-by-side. This is what Bourdais needs. These two boys to have a scrap among themselves. Can Philippe pull it off into turn 1?
The 19-year-old on the inside. Philippe going for his best career finish. It would be his first time on a Champ Car podium if he can hang on and grab a top 3 here.
Allmendinger right behind him, but I don't think Philippe is finished here. I think Philippe will probably have more of a challenge.
Remember earlier when he battled Serbia for 30 laps, it looked as though Serbia was holding him up. That was the case. Derek, what does he need to do differently to make the pass and make it stick here?
The difficulty on an oval track, if you try to make the pass and you don't pull it off, suddenly you lose 10 or 15 car lengths. So the next time, line him up and try and make it stick all the way through. He's quicker into turn 3 than Wilson, but Wilson is very good exiting turn 1 and off turn 2.
Bourdais has built the lead to 1.8 seconds as we work on the clock. 11 minutes of racing remaining. Should be about 30 laps here at the Milwaukee Mile. You lose momentum. Now the Cosworth power to pass. We haven't talked much about that. Here's another look.
Turn 3, Philippe down the inside. Try to make it stick in the brake zone. Oh, he pushes more and more, but he's not quite alongside Justin Wilson here. They come out on the front straight, and Wilson just about keeps the outside line. That was the key move right there.
170 laps on the board for race leader Sebastian Bourdais this time by. This is the gap between second and third, Bill Stevens.
Guys, we've already used a number of superlatives to describe how Nelson Philippe has done today, but just a quick reminder, this kid is injured, although he has not mentioned his pain all day long to his team, and that is his backup car. And look at the run that he's making.
Terrific run for Nelson Philippe and his team. Now remember, he qualified but ninth there after wrecking his primary car earlier in the weekend, and he has come to third. Fourth at Houston in the month of May.
Smooth here, big guy, nice and smooth.
His best career run inside 10 minutes to go. We're showing you Cosworth power to pass numbers top of your screen. Bill alluded to the fact that Oriol Serbia had 40 seconds to go in his power to pass. Derek, it's back to 750 base horsepower. You go to 800 when you hit the button here.
And you need every bit of that on an oval track, but you heard them say earlier on, settle down, take it easy. They really need Nelson Philippe to bring this home. That might have been the big challenge that we just saw unleashed against Justin Wilson, because I don't see Nelson able to hang on to the back of him to potentially challenge like we saw just 2 or 3 laps earlier.
Top 3 have stabilized. Allmendinger is fourth in front of Serbia. Catherine Lake runs fifth here in the Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225 as the clock winds down. Plenty of history, more than 100 years worth here. In August of 1959, the great late Johnny Thompson won the Rex Mays Memorial in car number 3. Back in the Milwaukee Mile, Rick Benjamin with Derek Daly. Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Great battle for 8th position here. Charles Wolfsman, the MyJack Conquest 34. That's the red and white car, trying to hold off Dan Clark in car number 14, the second of the CTE HVM cars. Now, these drivers are 5 laps behind Bourdais right now, but they've been waging quite a war, Derek, and they're running almost identical lap times.
Speedy Dan, he is from Maidenhead in England. One of these rookies that comes here. He's only 21, can't even rent a car, so the team have to go pick these boys up all the time. They are in their own private battle here.
Whistling down into turn 1 as we watch that fight for 8th. In front of them, Andrew Ranger and Catherine Legg. They've been waging a fight for 6th. They are both 2 laps down to the leaders. Legg making history here today. First time ever that a woman driver has led an event of the Champ Car World Series. History dating back, as you know, back into the 1930s. And it has been a great day for Catherine Legg. And here comes Dan Clark now trying to reel in Wolfsman. We should be about 18 laps from the conclusion here. We expect to make about 200 of the 225 scheduled laps. 6 cautions on the day. A couple of big accidents early as this fight has unfolded. Bill Stevens.
Hey, we've been impressed with some youngsters today, and Dan Clark certainly falls into that category. I just spoke to Keith Wiggins with CTE, and he said the plan today for Dan was to run a conservative race, especially with all the misfortune he's had so far this year, just to learn the ropes of an oval, and so far they're very proud of what he's done.
Sebastian Bourdais, the race leader there in the McDonald's number 1, trying to thread his way through the slower traffic. That's Nicky Pastorelli and the Rocket Sports Bavaria car in the middle, holding his line. And there's Clark on the bottom.
And see what happened there? What happened to Bourdais is exactly what we saw happen to Catherine Legg earlier. He already had the pass made on Dan Clark, but he had to go high, runs out of grip, backs off, the car inside takes the position back. Just saw Bourdais have the same fate and happily didn't hit anything. Again, watch it. Coming off for Bourdais on the outside left side of your screen, realizes out of grip, Dan on the right side of your screen, the dark car takes back the position, and then he gives it back to Bourdais again.
Now, 2 years ago, under the lights here, that's exactly where Bourdais hit the wall. I bet you 2 years ago, Derek, it would have happened to him again. But he now knows where the ragged edge is here at the Milwaukee Mile. Bourdais continues to knock him off. About 15 laps to go. 4 minutes and a quarter remaining under the time clock here today. Oriol Servia in the Gulfstream car for the PKV team. Have a look off the back of that wing, Derek. You're looking at these rear tires. What do you think? Do you have a problem there?
Well, it's the brake disc. Watch the right side of your screen, which is a left rear. That brake disc on Servia's car has been loose now for probably the last 25 laps. Doesn't seem to have got any worse. But as soon as he gets off the power, see the way it waves and
that's
waggles
the ductwork,
here?
right?
Brake ducting, yeah. Ducts the air into the brake disc just to cool it down. They do use the brakes here. Not a lot. And incidentally, you'll notice, for those of you who are technically minded, this is a completely different brake duct setup than we see on board Justin Wilson's car. They have a much smaller brake duct. Bill?
And Derek, you're exactly right. I spoke to the team of Oriol Servia about that problem in the back of the car, and Oriol told them that it has been not a problem. The car is extremely well balanced, and they did not want to risk losing track position to try to figure it out.
Servia runs fifth. He's a lap down to the leaders, but a good run today for the PKV Gulfstream car number 6, Oriol Servia, who finished second here a year ago, driving in relief of the then-injured Grosjean Kara. Now the CTHVM cars down the front straightaway as they move into the corner. Justin Wilson, your second-place driver in the CDW car. He's got Philippe right there with him. Did Philippe tap the wall again as they came out of turn?
Man, I don't think he tapped the wall, but the car certainly jumped out from under him. That must have given him a scare. He tried to take advantage of traffic with his teammate.
Good job, buddy. You each got one push to pass left.
Wow. Philippe down to one burst. He's got 3 seconds on the clock, but you get the full allotment when you hit it that last time. Wilson with the same situation now. Bourdais 4 seconds in the lead. These two cars battling for second down to the wire. Seconds ticking away. 2:15 to go in the race here at the Milwaukee Mile, and that should get us to about lap 200.
Wow, Nelson Philippe must have his heart in his mouth, or maybe he's so confident right now that he just doesn't worry about the piece of road he's on. But have a look. This is Nelson Philippe. He's right behind Wilson. Oh, see that? You don't often get away with moments like that coming off turn 2. That's where he hit the wall earlier.
You can still see the scuff mark there from the previous time when he white-walled that right rear.
Nelson Philippe is absolutely on the limit of this car. He is in a podium position, first time ever. Wilson is chasing Bourdais, and Nelson Philippe is chasing Justin Wilson.
Philippe is now about 1.5 seconds behind Wilson. He got so close. Had to back out of it after getting up in the marbles there and getting loose. As we complete lap number 193 here today in the Time Warner Cable Roadrunner 225.
That's what happens when you get a fright.
Yeah.
You lose 1.5 seconds.
Earlier in the weekend. This is Philippe's problem on Friday. Take a look here.
Oh, this was a sickening wallop backwards. Destroyed the racing car. This was unfixable. Almost serious damage to his knee. He comes back in a spare car, says, don't mind the pain, give me a good setup, and I will show you boys. Nelson Philippe, his finest day in a champ car.
Less than a minute to go. Enough time for 2, maybe 3 laps. We won't get to the 200 lap mark. It'll be about 197 as Bourdais builds that lead now.
I know it was amusing at the time. It mightn't be that amusing now, but 2 years ago when Nelson Philippe was here, he was 17. You can't even get a credential to get down pit lane until you're 18 years of age, and yet he was out in the racing car doing his thing.
Couple of laps to go here at Milwaukee. Should see the white flag. J.D. Wilbur waves the white over Sebastian Bourdais. Philippe running third behind Justin Wilson. This will be Bourdais' 20th career Champ Car World Series victory in his 4th season. One on the Oval at Las Vegas last year in an 04. One in Germany and England back in 03, if you recall those 2 tracks. Bourdais with a fist in the air. Sebastian Bourdais opens the 2006 season with his 4th consecutive win.
Guys, this one is for you, for Newman's Racing, for the McDonald's team, because you guys made it. You gave me the car to win this race. Woo!
Guys did a hell of a job this weekend, Seb.
You bring it into pit lane.
Kenny Seebeck said Milwaukee's off the list. Off the list because we've never been able to win there. Awesome job by this team.
Sebastian Bourdais brings the McDonald's car number 1 under the checkered flag at the Milwaukee Mile. 4 straight wins to open up the 2006 Champ Car World Series season. Bourdais serving up donuts to the crowd here at the Milwaukee Mile. Wilson runs second. Philippe gets his first podium. We'll be back.
DR is professional power for homeowners.
Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series, powered by Ford. Our coverage today being brought to you by Bridgestone, passion for excellence. And by Ford, bold moves.
Sebastian Bourdais has just climbed from the car in victory circle and finally pulled it off for Newman Haas. A home victory. And Sebastian, I know that when you had that leak in the tire and you had to make an early pit stop, you thought maybe today would not have been the day.
Well, I said, it's like the malediction here at Milwaukee. It keeps on going on, but the car felt so awesome. I can't thank this Newman Haas and this McDonald's team enough. I mean, this car was just a rocket ship, and we've had all the misery in the world here in the past, and today was just ours, and it feels so good.
Things are certainly coming your way. You've got this 4 in a row. Cristiano D'Amata has done the 4 in a row. Now you move 2 places where you got to be more confident. If there's one place you thought you'd have a trouble, it would have been Milwaukee, correct?
Well, I thought we were going to be reasonable. I just didn't think we were going to be dominant. That's it.
Now that you've got this 4, are you thinking streak? Are you thinking you can run the table, as we call it, and win them all?
No, I don't think so, but we'll do our best, and this McDonald's car is our little baby.
Congratulations.
As we take a look at our top 10, Justin Wilson runs second again here at Milwaukee. Nelson Philippe's best career run, first career podium at age 19 for the CTAGM team. AJ Allmendinger has to settle for 4th in front of Oriel Servia. How about Catherine Legg in 6th? Best ever finish for a female in a Champ Car event.
There are some disappointed people on that list there, but some great storylines. Bill?
Down here with Justin Wilson, kind of a theme we've got here. Coming in second to Sebastian Bourdais, but you have nothing to be ashamed of with your run today.
Yeah, no, it's frustrating not to get the win, but under the circumstances, I think we had a great race, and it's an interesting last 10 laps there with Nelson racing pretty hard from that restart. But really pleased, very happy for the team, and the crew did a great job, and just it's nice to come and do this, a home race for CDW as well, so we've got a lot of support there. So to finish on the podium on an oval, I'm pretty pleased with.
You looked at home on the oval, but I got to ask you, going into that first turn, when the race was beginning, what was going on in your mind?
Just trying to get through there nice and clean, and once we turned in, Bruno came down from the wall and lifted early, so I just kept my foot in, and the car stuck and went right around the outside, and I think that was the key today. So I'm not sure what happened into turns 3 and 4 after that, but all I know is I was ahead of it.
Were there any changes to your car during the race today, or was it pretty much dialed in?
It was, the first stint was fantastic. The car was working really well, and then that second stint, after the first pit stop, something wasn't quite right. We're oversteering everywhere, and it was quite a difficult time. It was a little bit better on that last one, but everyone's got clear track and going for it then. So
congratulations.
Thanks very much.
Let's go to Jan.
And with a man who for the first time hits the podium, Nelson Philippe, and as excitement over our shoulder with Sebastian Bourdais winning for Newman Haas, probably equal excitement for you for hitting the podium after a wild race.
Probably more excitement, I should say. It's been a long time coming. If you asked anybody 2 years ago at this race if they thought I would ever be here, they would have said no, and kept working at it, putting my heart into it, and I'm just ecstatic to be here today.
Now you're playing hurt. How much did it hurt? Your neck this morning said was worse than yesterday.
Yeah, actually, I had a big wreck on Friday, so definitely it was hurting a little bit. But right now, I don't even think of my neck. I can't even think of my leg anymore. But all I have to say is that my team did a tremendous job. It's without them I couldn't be here, and my engineer Will Phillips gave me a wonderful car, and this is for these guys because they helped me.
You had a couple big-time moments there. One where you brushed the wall. Another time, just when Justin Wilson went by, the car whipped sideways. What were you thinking at that point?
Well, I was thinking, in Houston, I thought that maybe I could have gone Dominguez, on the last one lap restart, and I kicked myself in the butt for that, and I said, I'm going to try it no matter what. And yeah, I had a little moment, scared me a little bit, but kept it on the road and drove it home to a safe third, so couldn't be happier.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nelson Philippe, what a great story and a great run for he and for that team, the CTHVM team. Now here's the championship situation. Derek, Bourdais extends the lead over Wilson.
I don't know how people are going to stop Bourdais, because not only is he fast, that team makes very few mistakes, and when they do get issues like they did today, they make the strategic calls that again puts him in position to win these events.
Great battle for third in the championship. Dominguez leading Ranger by 1, Allmendinger by 7. Philippe and Tracy and D'Amata all very close, all well. Will Power currently 9th in the standings, and Catherine Legg sits in 10th in the championship. Alex Tagliani unable to start. He'll get 17th place points here today, which shifts Tag deep in the championship, deeper in the championship. He and Paul Tracy with problems.
You mentioned Catherine Legg. When she led convincingly, there was a confident look to Catherine. There was a line she took that showed that she was pretty much in command.
Yeah. Great race setup for that team, too. Jan Beekes.
And Derek Daly just said, Catherine, that you took some lines out there that showed that you were in command. Did you feel like you're in command at points today?
Hell no. The car started off really good at the beginning of the race, and I think we were legitimately up there and we were fighting, and the car felt great. And yeah, I could put the car where I wanted it to go, and we were just getting happy with running in traffic, and then everything sort of started going wrong and started big understeer. So we hung on to it. The team did a fantastic job at just kind of keeping me out there and keeping me going and keeping me motivated, because you feel like you're an accident waiting to happen when there's something wrong. And most of my lines actually were probably a little bit different, because I had such a big understeer that I had to go in really narrow just to be able to get around the corner without having to cross my arms.
Well, congratulations and thank you. It must have been a thrill. Quickly, what did it feel like to lead?
Yeah, it was good, but that's just part of my job, right? That's what it should be like every time.
All right, thank you.
Best ever finish by a female driver in this series. Our Roche France Rookie of the Year standings, Will Power is the leader, but Legg just a point behind. Palin, Dan Clark, Charles Wolfsman, Nikki Pastorelli in that order. A reminder, we're back in 2 weeks, June 18th, Father's Day. Round 5 of Bridgestone presents the Champ Car World Series powered by Ford. We'll be at the Champ Car Grand Prix of Portland from Portland International Raceway. And if you missed today's Time Warner Cable 225 or you'd like to see it again, our Champ Car Re-Rack Wednesday at noon Eastern this week on Speed. Next, the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race. For Derek Daly, Jan Beekes, and Bill Stevens, I'm Rick Benjamin congratulating Sebastian Bourdais.